All right, we are live. Good morning, ladies. Hope you all had an awesome weekend. Happy Monday. It's been crazy around here. I got super sick. You know how that goes when you're 37 weeks pregnant. So had a bit of a laundry weekend, I guess you could call it. Anyways, I want to hop in this morning and do this bonus training because a lot of you, what I'm hearing you say is, I want to do this. I know that I need to go do market research. I know that I want to go create events. I know I see the value of pulling in a targeted audience quickly. But the thing I'm struggling with is I'm running into imposter syndrome, or I have these fears around what would I even sell. And I feel like, oh no, I don't even have an offer that would fit this. Or, there's all these crazy excuses that we kind of make up in our head. And really the one thing that we're going to talk today about offers because I think it's like a key piece. But one thing that I think that we do is we overcomplicate business. And one of the most important things you can do, instead of blaming yourself for where you're at or your lack of results or your lack of whatever it is that you feel like you're missing, often all we have to do is take action. And that literally ends up bringing you way faster to where you want to be in terms of clarity, confidence, and commitment to going all in one direction. Because clarity is everything. If you don't know what to work on next, you feel awful. I've been there 100 times. I know exactly what that feels like. One of my clients, actually, I was just talking to her yesterday. She was sick this week, and then I got sick, and then we decided to just have a quick coaching call on a Sunday, and it was so fun because no bras, no showers, just get to work and chat, right? And one of the things she said is it really helped her to actually just go all in on one mentor, one coach, one direction, because she had been burned really bad by a really high ticket coach before, and then ended up kind of afterwards just feeling that shell shock of oh no, now I need to figure all this out on my own. And so she started taking freebies and trying to piecemeal and duct tape her business together from all these different directions. And she said, it really helped me to just go all in with you and just take it. So whether it's me or somebody else, it doesn't matter. Just pick one voice to listen to until you feel like you have the success that you want. And then you can start branching out again and adding things. But I think what happens is, for so many of us, we get so overwhelmed by all the information and noise out there. And then we end up confused, distracted, and then we blame ourselves because we feel like there's something wrong with us. We need to go do more mindset work. We need to fix, whatever blocks are in our way. And honestly, after 5 years of failing my way forward through all of this stuff, you just have to take more action. And you need to know what direction you're taking action in so that it all streamlines down one track. So hopefully that's helpful. So today, okay, I want to dive into this. If you're watching live, say hello. I'll check in on Facebook. And I know this was kind of a last minute that you guys didn't expect, so that's okay if you're not live. Anybody catching the replay? One thing, Ella, you just sent me a question this morning about when can I expect sales? She's talking about if I go do a summit and then I create events afterwards, when can I expect sales? And the short answer to that is it depends, which of course everyone's favorite answer in marketing. But are you going to have a call to action during your summit? Are you going to reach out personally and start building those relationships? Welcome to my community, get the conversation flowing. Are you going to make an offer at your summit? Because there's no rules about whether you can or can't make offers at your summits. You said you have a low ticket offer around $200, which is a very low entry point for a lot of people who are coming in who want what you have to offer, because web design services, and yours is a course where they can just jump in and do it themselves. So you could say, hey, if you want help with your website, then jump onto this call with me next week and we can talk about, what you're looking for. Or if you're a do-it-yourself and you just want to hit the ground running, I have this amazing offer for $199. I think that's euros. You're welcome to dive into this now or whatever. So you could be making sales off your first summit. Absolutely. I signed one of my, a one-on-one client off of, I had a VIP upgrade, which included the replays and a free 30-minute call with me. Well, free, I guess it was $27, but that's free to me. And then literally by the end of that call, that client was like, how do we do this? How do we keep working together? And I never pitched during those what I would call free calls. But I said, hey, if you really want to know what this would look like to work together, like we can jump on a call. And she was like, no, let's talk about it now. So if somebody's telling you that, then that's great. But what I don't want anybody, please listen to this. I don't want you guys going out and baiting and switching people. I know most of the people that I end up pulling into my community are not like that. And so you actually you go the opposite direction, where you actually won't even go talk to people, or you won't DM somebody. Because you're so worried about coming across as that person. And that is awesome, because if you are worried about being that person, then you are not that person. You're already not going to be that person. So don't worry about that. But I just can't stand it when every single day, I think you guys all agree with me and probably go through this too. It's like we get these bait and switch messages in our DMs all the time. And it's like, stop it. You are there. My philosophy is go out and reach out one-on-one and do market research. But like literally say hello, state your intention, and then stay true to that intention and that integrity. The last thing somebody wants is to be like, yeah, sure, I'll answer your questions and get vulnerable with you. And then 2 seconds later, you're trying to sell them something. If you have something that you know is coming up, like a masterclass or a workshop that's free, of course you can invite that person to that free thing, because that's a natural next step of saying like, hey, I don't know if this interests you, but it sounds like this might be a good fit. This is why I'm doing market research in the first place. I will have this event coming up. It's going to be next Thursday or in 2 weeks. Let me know if you'd like the link and you can check it out. That's a very easy, non-salesy way to introduce somebody into your world, because that makes sense for them and that's a fit for them. But attacking people with your Facebook group or an offer that you have in the cold DMs kills me. So stop, please. Anyone out there is watching this that's doing that right now, please stop and reach out to me and I will tell you how to do it differently. So you can't do it that way. You're ruining it for everyone. Social media, it's being ruined. Okay, let's talk about offers. So when I say start with your offer in mind, I don't want you to feel like you have to have the perfect offer, the signature offer, the one that's going to sell out, the perfect anything. It's just, what do you have in mind that you would like to move towards to sell? And by taking action through all of this stuff, we're going to work through your mindset stuff. We're going to work through the strategy of it. We're going to work through where you find your people. We're going to talk about market research so that you know what your people actually want and are looking for and want to buy. There's all these pieces of the puzzle that we've covered during this challenge. And they all make sense if you know what kind of offer or offers you're going to sell. So remember last week I talked about how it's much easier to sell multiple offers to the same audience rather than having an offer that you're trying to sell to multiple different niches or multiple different ideal clients, or having different offers that you're trying to sell to different people at the same time. It's too confusing. You need to be super clear and direct with exactly who you're pulling in and exactly what you're offering. So I want you to start by thinking about, okay, what is it that I would love to offer right now? And I want you also, I talk about the X factor a lot, right? The place where what you want to sell intersects with what they want to buy, right? That's your sweet spot. So when you're like, okay, and this is where some mindset stuff is going to come in. I talk a lot about selling offers that are $3,000 and higher. But if you have a $555 offer that you really want to sell first to build your confidence, then that's cool. We're going to go through the process of allowing you to make money as you figure out your sales process so that you can be selling out high ticket offers by the end. So if you need to go and sell, a 4-week or a 6-week intensive for $555 to 4 people first, just to get your boots on the ground and get running, then that's totally fine. I'm not against that at all. It's the action and the movement forward and the understanding your ideal client better and the talking and actually serving those one-on-one clients that's going to give you such a huge boost into the next level of your business. So I don't ever want anyone to think that you can't sell low ticket offers. I think low ticket is a great way as an entry point to get you more confident and also your clients more confident in what you offer. So it takes a lot of pressure off when you know that you can sell those, what I call easy yes offers. So if you're having a great conversation with someone and they say, hey, what would it look like to work with you? Like, I would just like to start somewhere. If you say, I'm just going to keep you running with this $555 example. If you say I have a $555 offer, I would actually not lead with price, to be honest with you. I would say I have a, whatever you want to call it, one-on-one package that's 6 weeks. And it just really allows us to just get in and dive into one specific problem in your business so that we can start to move you forward and build that momentum up. And, or if you're a life coach or something, you're like, like, let's pick out the one big thing that we want to tackle first and make that a priority. And then we will work on that for the 6 weeks until you feel blah, 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 blah. And don't forget that when we talk about offers, you really want to get clear on what the end result is that they're looking for. So my clients want to get to a place where they don't have to be freaking out and second guessing where they're pulling in leads from anymore, because they want to make consistent income in their business. They didn't quit their jobs to take a leap of faith to go and spin circles and chase shiny objects, right? Most of you are like that. You're like, I just want to figure out what my process is to consistently bring in new clients that I love to work with, who want to pay me, and so I can make consistent income and then enjoy my life again, right? Like, that's what we're here for. So then I said, okay, great. What's the process that you need to go through to take action so that you can figure that process out and still get paid while you do it? Well, that's what the Ambitious Academy is all about. So when we're starting with our offer in mind, it's like, do you want to be selling coaching spots? If you're selling a physical product, this is different. I'm only speaking about service-based entrepreneurs. So you have some sort of a package that you want to create. So when it comes to that, we want to price, package, and position it to sell, which means you need to be excited about it, like about delivering it, about showing up for it, about over-serving your people who come in to have it. Because the last thing you want is to sell a $200 offer where you're like rolling your eyes before you get on the calls, right? Now, if you're selling a $200 offer because you need a start in the world, then that's fine, because you're going to show up with enthusiasm and hit the ground running. But if you're like, okay, I know that my time is valuable and people really need what I have, now we just have to figure out the messaging around how to bring them in and what it is that they actually want so that we can give them what they need. We talked about that lots last week too. We don't sell people what they need. We sell them what they want. That's what they want to buy. Lots of people have lots of money out there, and stop telling yourself that your people don't have money, because that's not true. Lots of people have given me price objections this week in this launch. And I know that it's not about the fact that you can't find the money, because I've been there 100 times before. It's you're afraid that it's not going to work again. So that's my job, to make sure that I'm showing the value. And the same thing will be for your offers, making sure that they see the value of what actually comes if they come in and do the work. Because there's 3 decisions that people need to make. Is this system, process, package something that would actually work for me? Can they see that, right? The process. Number 2, is this the coach or the mentor or the person that I would actually like to work with that I do believe could get me results? And then number 3, which is usually the hardest one for most of us, is, can I make this happen? Can I make this work? Will it happen for me this time? And that's all around, a lot of it has to do with fear. And I think that's very natural. And that's something that we deal with all the time. And also, if you've been what I would call burned before in other high ticket programs, then it's really hard to get to a place where you're like, well, how is it going to be different this time? Right? Or if you're just brand new into the business, you're like, well, maybe I'm not there yet. I don't think I'm ready for this. And that's the natural fears that start to come up. And that's just your ego trying to play it safe and trying to keep you safe. Because also we have this huge fear in our society about spending money and not getting an instant ROI, right? So for me, my very first high ticket program that I went into was $23,000 for the year. And I was shaking in my boots, but I was so excited. And I honestly can tell you that I felt, as soon as I got into the program, 85% of the people dropped out within the first 2 months. So let me just put this, it wasn't just me making it up in my head. But I stuck it out because I was like, no, there's gotta be some value here. There's gotta be something here. There's gotta be, but what that whole program taught me was how I don't want people to feel inside of my containers, and how I don't want them to feel alone, even though they've paid a ton of money to be in there. And how I don't want to go to coaching calls or have people come to coaching calls where all I say is, how does that feel for you? Right? That doesn't fit with my style and doesn't fit with the type of people I like to work with. We like to have clear direction. Like, how can I take massive action this week that's going to move the needle forward in my business? Well, here's what you got to do. That's my style of coaching. But I learned that because I didn't get that from a very expensive container that I was in. Now, looking back, do I feel like it was a dud? Maybe, but did I learn so much from it regardless? Yes, I did. I didn't quantum leap my business like was promised. But that's why I also don't, like Ella, when you're asking me like, you know, how soon can I make sales? How soon can I expect sales? Honestly, like I don't make empty promises because I say focus on the process, not the result. I think you can make sales very quickly if you're not in graspy energy, if you're in value over serving generous energy. I think sometimes holding your energy through those lulls where you've just done a really good job of, you know, showing a whole bunch of stuff and then nobody buys, that's hard. But that's where you need support, and that's where you get the mindset, and that's where you toughen up, because that's not always going to be the case. You're going to figure it out and succeed, but you have to keep moving forward in action. So when I say start with the offer first, what I'm saying is we need to know what it is that you want to sell. Even if in the short term it's slow ticket stuff, that's fine. But it's the process that we're going to take people through, and it's how we're going to start to understand them more as they come into your world, as we do market research, as you host summits, as you say, hello, welcome to my community. You know, tell me a little bit more about what you do. I would love to know. I'm creating some content in the next couple months inside of our Facebook group. I would love to know, you know, what would be most helpful for you. Those are the types of messages I've sent to my people. And I can't tell you how many times people have written back and just been like, first of all, thank you so much for reaching out and actually being a real person. Like, people are so shocked when you don't just send out an automated message. Jump into the voice notes as soon as you can. Be a real person. It will go further than any marketing guru course that you could ever take. It's just talk to real people and be a real person yourself. So before you dive into your market research, and like I said at the beginning, your offer is going to change and evolve as you do. So don't get super stuck on this needs to be perfect. I have to have it nailed down. I mean, we could talk about how to price it. Again, all of these things have to do with this intersection piece that I talk about. What are you excited to show up and sell? What do you feel like is a no-brainer for somebody to walk in? Like when I was pricing the academy, I was like $11.11 per month for 6 months is a no-brainer because of how much one-on-one support I put in there. Because I charge $2,000 a month for my one-on-one packages. And you get just as much, if not more, access to me in the academy program than you would if you were just like a one-on-one client. So I'm like, that's practically a half price deal. But then some people are like, well, I want to come in and I want to do this. And I was like, okay, well, if you don't want the one-on-one support, which is what I truly believe everyone needs, then you can come in and just do the program and you still have access to me, and I still go live every week, and you can still get hot seat coaching. So think about this when you're thinking about your own packages. What is it that you think people need as a bare minimum to move them through the process and give them that price point? And then how do you actually bring in like your level 10s, which are the ones that want to come in and get the, what I would call the support that I know they need, but they might not know they need it yet. So they want to come in and do the program. Remember, it's like give them what they want so that you can deliver what they need. So I'll just say, if you need to come in at this baseline, that's fine. And then you can always upgrade later if you need to. But like the pieces of the puzzle that usually are missing in most people's programs is the one-on-one support. And we get so caught up in how to scale, how to make these programs, not infringe on our time or whatever. But it's like, at the end of the day, if you love what you do and you really love the people that you're bringing into your programs, then you're not worried about stopping to answer a quick Voxer support, to move somebody forward quickly in a day, because you don't want that person to stay stuck until the next Tuesday call, right? So when you're thinking about how you're going to price and package your stuff, make it so that you're excited to show up and over deliver for your people. And sometimes, like I said, when we're first starting out, we got to start with lower ticket stuff because that's where your confidence is. If you're like, oh, I don't think I could sell a $5,000 package yet. I'm like, cool. The perfect word there being yet. So now let's go sell out your 555s to 4 or 5 people, build that flow, build that confidence, build the process within those 5 people or 4 people. You know what I mean? You don't have to have served 100 people one-on-one to be able to figure out what your process is to help people through whatever it is that you help them with. But working with 4 or 5 one-on-ones first is invaluable, because you're going to see the patterns, you're going to see where a lot of them get stuck, and you're going to be able to address that in a group setting. That's why I vote for one-on-ones first. So if you haven't sold out any group programs, or you're kind of still getting started, or you feel like you need to regain that confidence in your business again, then let's start with a one-on-one offer in mind. And if you don't want to go high ticket yet, then we start with something lower that's shorter term. And that's fine too. but what is the end result that you're getting for someone? What is the real problem that you're solving? So what do you want your business to look like? Who do you want to help? And what is the real problem that you're going to solve? Those are the things you need to know for your offer. And we start there because now we know, okay, we're going out to do market research. We're looking for a person who specifically wants to know how to find more balance in their life, or how to stop yelling at their kids, or what was Katie's, like the emotional intelligence thing, I think is huge. And I still don't understand what emotional intelligence means, which is actually perfect because it allows me to say to you, okay, I don't actually know what you're talking about. Like, I think emotional intelligence sounds like a good thing. And I think it probably has to do with staying calm around my kids more, which would be a great thing for me, but I still don't know what it is. So it's like the messaging that you're going to go and find are people like me who don't know what emotional intelligence is, because that's how you're going to pull them in with your titles of your, instead of saying emotional intelligence workshop, you would want to pull somebody in saying, keep your cool around your kids more, or learn how to, learn 3 quick tips to self-regulate so you're not so angry, or so that you have more patience with your kids, or even when chaos is happening all around you. So what I'm saying is, for any of you who are like, okay, well, my offer is this, and this is what I want to help with, now you go find the messaging, which are the words that your people are using to describe what they're actually going through in their day-to-day life. And that's how we find the hooks. And hooks doesn't mean something malicious, because hooks kind of can sound like, I caught a fish. But it's like, how do you get people to be curious about what you're doing and lean in and want to know more? You have to go find out what words they're using in their day-to-day life with what they're struggling with or worrying about or what they want. So when you start with your offer in mind, okay, I want to bring in 4 one-on-one clients in the next 60 days or 30 days. How am I going to do that? Well, do you have leads right now? Because some of you already do have some leads. Do you have people in your audience that are curious about, what you're doing? Great, let's create a masterclass and let's invite as many people as we can to it. And let's start that ball rolling. In the meantime, let's set up a summit to bring in a whole bunch of new clients for this offer, because you can sell an offer repeatedly all year if you want to, if it's the one that you want to sell. So if you start with the offer in mind, now we know who we're going to go talk to for market research. Now we know from talking to those people and getting their words, what kind of titles we want to pull in for these lead generators, which are our anchor events like summits, collaborative events. And then I was reading my journal this morning, and something that I forgot to mention last week was like, when we talk about event stacking, those are what I used to call looking glass events. So it's like people get to come in and almost, I called it like an interview event last week for Nurturing Converting, but like it's a looking glass. They're able to come in and see clearly who you are, what your style is, and what it feels like to be in your presence, right? And that's what you want. You want somebody to come in and try you on for size, just like in the change rooms at the clothing stores. So starting with your offer means, yes, we can talk big picture. I want to make 6 figures, but like, first of all, what does that actually mean to you in your life? Why are you doing that? Second of all, what kind of offers can we build out to get you there? And then what kind of action do we need to take to figure out the process to get consistent sales out of that? I think that's pretty much it in a nutshell. So hopefully that's helpful. I wanted to open it up to Q&A, but nobody's on the Zoom, which is normal. Ladies, when you are running challenges or masterclasses, it is very normal when you have like a gap in your days to have nobody show up live on the Zoom. And also if you're dealing with moms, a lot of people just catch replays. So don't feel bad about that. I used to take it so personally and be so defeated, right? But now I'm just like, oh, that's normal. So what I'll say is, for the Q&A, drop them in the comments below and I will circle back, or jump into my DMs. That's totally fine too. Jump into my DMs and ask me any questions you have about your offer, about your marketing, about your mindset, about your fears, about running events, about all these things. Anything is wide open for me. I'm going to be doing the draw today for anybody who participated in the homework and the action steps last week. I'm excited. So I'm going to be giving away my strategy intensive. I'll announce that in the Facebook group today. And just so you know, today's the last day to register to have the bonus one-on-one calls added to your Academy package. So whether you want to come in at the $697 for the program, or whether you want to upgrade to the VIP one-on-one support at $11.11 a month, both of those options will get the bonus one-on-one calls if you register by tonight. And doors are still open right now, and we are going to be doing our kickoff call October 25th. That's when we're officially starting. It's next Tuesday. So get into my space, get into my DMs. Like I said, I'm still coaching for free during my challenges. I always do in the DMs. So start to pick my brain and start to work through what it is that you're scared of, what's holding you back, you know, all the things that are kind of coming at you. Because I want you to be making consistent sales in your business, but you have to have the leads. You have to grow your audience with targeted leads. Otherwise, none of the strategies are going to help you. So hopefully this was helpful. I am signing off. I will talk to you all in the DMs, and have a great day.